My son asked me the other day, "Do you even lift, bro?" My God, this kid. Actually, he is getting pretty jacked. Plus, he's taking Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. No joke. I'm a little bit scared of him. Anyway, he's on this pretty intense weightlifting regimen, and some YouTuber recommended a post-workout protein shake. Oh my God. I saw him drinking this thing, and I slapped it right out of his hand. Well, once I regained consciousness, and he apologized for choking me out, I told him about Magic Spoon. That's right, Magic Spoon. 0 grams of sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein, and only 4 net grams of carbs in each serving, which, by the way, is only 140 calories. It's keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, and low-carb, and so much more fun than a damn protein shake after a workout. And hey, you can build your own custom bundle with flavors like cocoa, fruity, frosted, peanut butter, cookies and cream, maple waffle, blueberry, cinnamon, plus the newly reformulated honey nut flavor that will now be added to Magic Spoon's permanent collection. I didn't even know they were trying it out, but now it's permanent. Honey nut. Awesome. So go grab yourself a custom bundle of cereal and be sure to use our promo code NODUNKS at checkout to save $5 off your order. And Magic Spoon is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like it, for any reason, they'll refund your money. No questions asked. Remember, get your next delicious bowl of guilt-free cereal at magicspoon.com/NoDunks and use code NODUNKS for $5 off. Magic Spoon, thank you for sponsoring this episode.
How to pick up a duck. Step 1. Find a duck. Have you found your duck? Step 2. Place your hand underneath the duck, palm side up, and lift the duck. Congratulations, you've now picked up a duck.
Good morning, sweet world, and welcome to the No Dunks podcast on the Athletic Network. It's Monday, March 28th. I'm J.E. Skeets here in the Classic Factory. Alongside me, as always, Tass Mellis.
Fellow Mighty Ducks.
Hello, Tassie. We got our top shot hot boy, ripping them lips, Trey Kirby.
Heyo.
Heyo. The international man of mystery, taking it to the breakfast, Leigh Ellis. Leigh. And finally, making the magic happen over yonder, super producer. He's got his Canada sweatshirt on today. It's JD.
Hello.
There he is. Here we are. Yeah. Shout out to all the Canadian soccer heads out there. Canada qualified for the World Cup. The men's team did.
Yes.
The women's team have done it before.
How exciting is it going to be when you get to Qatar?
Oh!
Or that birthplace of football. No, it's great. It is great. It's like 36 years, I think, since Canada made it. And they, honestly, it always felt like they were out in the first round. So for them to go through, I think, is great.
That's pretty big. Shout out to the stream team joining us live right now on YouTube. Subscribe, like, comment, share the show. Email in your NBA questions to nodunks@theathletic.com. We might hit the beach at some point this week, so get your cues in and get yourself an Athletic subscription if you don't have one. Go to theathletic.com/nodunks. Still got that $1 a month deal on for up to 6 months for new subscribers, so take advantage of that. Okay, guys, winners and losers of the NBA weekend. Let's start with the winners. And I'm actually going to get us going here because I think it's an obvious one. I'm sure you guys would all agree. The Boston Celtics, the Beantown Boys, are a big winner of the weekend because this team can't lose. They defeat the Wolves on Sunday, and with Philly losing to the Suns in a really entertaining game, I thought, on Sunday as well, Boston, they have the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. This is wild, Tass. I mean, at one point in January, in 2022, they were 18-21 and have since just gone on this incredible heater here. 29-7 record since then. That's an 80% win percentage. First in point differential. First in defense by a landslide. Third in offense since then. And they got the number 1 seed. And, I mean, it doesn't matter who they're playing. Elite teams in the East, elite teams in the West, hot teams in the West like the Wolves were, one of the hotter teams since the All-Star break. And they just kicked the snot out of them.
Are you trying to jinx them because they got the Raptors next? Like you're sort of saying, they're due for a loss.
Well, the Raps might catch a break tonight because Robert Williams III, he leaves that game last night or yesterday against the Wolves. He won't be playing against Toronto, and I don't think Al Horford is going to play in that one either. So, yeah, maybe the Raps catch a break. But
that's the thing with
I don't know if it matters because you got Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. They go for 30 every night, it feels like now.
Yeah. but they haven't got anything going wrong right now for Boston. It's almost like too good right now. They need, maybe an injury, a bit of a setback, because they're playing so well. It's possible they've peaked a little bit too early here as well. But honestly, the way that they play and the way that everybody gets out there and contributes on both ends of the floor is super impressive. And just looking at their run home here, I think it's a very, very good chance they do hold on to this number one spot for a couple of reasons. They're playing so well, but then also Miami is in a bit of a hole right now. I don't think Philadelphia can get it. Maybe the Bucks can, but Boston I would sort of put my money on right now, because they've got the Heat, they've got the Pacers, they've got the Wizards, and then they've got a couple of tough ones, Bulls, Bucks, and Grizzlies to win. But sometimes around those last couple of games, players tend to sort of sit out and rest. So if they can build a 1 or 2 game buffer, that might be enough for them to hold on to it for the rest of the season.
It's just amazing, not that they're just winning these games, but they are just hammering teams, Tess.
Yeah.
Most of these games feel over after, 16 to 20 minutes. Like, they're over in the first half. It was on Sunday.
Yeah, especially everybody buying in defensively. It's kind of a difficult thing to pick who you're going to go at on the offensive end, like the Timberwolves on Sunday. Everybody performs on the defensive end. Jason Tatum, obviously their offensive star, but he's a giant on the defensive end. You would kind of think, well, we'll go at him, but he is a guy that can turn it on defensively to go along with Jaylen Brown and the two backcourt guys you mentioned. Playing behind them, I call them backcourt guys, but they're frontcourt guys. And Robert Williams and Al Horford plus Marcus Smart. That's a tough team to get through defensively. And then Jason Tatum. Yeah, the word heater really fits him right now the last 2 months since they've turned it on, since they've gone from 11th to 1st. I mean, he is playing the best ball as an offensive star in the league. So, hello. They are perfect right now.
They really are. I saw Ziller writing about the Celtics in his newsletter this morning. He just said, this is what they've done against the Eastern Conference playoff teams in the last 9 weeks. They beat the Heat by 30 in late January. They beat the Sixers by 48. In front of a national TV audience. They beat the Nets 3 times by an average of 21 points. They beat the Hornets twice, and then they've beat these good Western Conference teams too. Denver twice, once by 20, Memphis by 13, Warriors by 22, and then you had the Jazz by 28, and on Sunday they beat the Wolves by 22. I mean, they want the playoffs to start now.
I don't know that they're peaking too early. I mean, they're peaking pretty much at the perfect time right now. We only got 12 days until the playoffs starts. They just don't want to run into the Bulls, the only team that has a 500 record and a positive point differential against the Celtics. So I can see why they would want to be very nervous about encountering the Chicago Bulls, who I thought were terrible against the best teams in the league. Nonetheless, Celtics are now up to first in defense, and they've hit 15 or more threes in their last 6 games. That's like the perfect combination, especially when you throw in the fact that you've got Tatum and Brown. Tatum most especially, who can go and get his own basket anytime he needs to. Brown has really been thriving. Feels like he's just chasing Jason Tatum out there. It's like one of them's going to have 30. The other one's like, well, I better get close enough. I better have 30 as well. So, yeah, they look really good. Peyton Pritchard is shooting the ball incredibly well off the bench. He's probably their worst defender in the rotation, but if he's going to give you 3 threes a night, keep playing him, because you need the 3-point shooting. They're looking really, really good right now because they're getting performances from all their role players doing exactly what they need to do, and then their superstars being stars as well.
So there you go. Boston takes the number 1 spot here, at least on Monday's podcast. But let's keep it going because, again, that was an obvious one, and they've just been doing this for weeks now, steamrolling teams. Taz, who do you have for a winner of the weekend?
Well, as an extension of that, just fans of Eastern Conference basketball, aren't you excited for what this Eastern Conference playoff picture looks like? Because it sure is wide open. And I know we kind of feel that. As talkers of basketball here going into the playoffs, we want to talk up the 3, 4, 5 seeds. But come on, have you ever seen a top of the Eastern picture look like this late in the season? We're on March 28th. The play-in starts 15 days from now. The top 4 seeds are separated by half a game. Boston, Miami, Milwaukee, and Philadelphia. And it goes all the way down to the play-in tournament for me, my excitement for what's going to happen in a couple of weeks, because we can thank the Boston Celtics for sure from going from 11th to 1st. So they've added to the teams like Miami, Milwaukee, and Philadelphia that I mentioned to go along with those Bulls once they get Lonzo Ball back. The Cavs and Raptors are sort of part of that crew that could go to the Eastern Finals. And who the heck knows who goes to the NBA Finals? But all the way down, I think, to the Brooklyn Nets, who are in the play-in tournament. The play-in tournament legitimately is exciting to me because for the first time in play-in tournament history, it's only a few years old here, but I think a team from the play-in tournament can go to the NBA Finals because the Brooklyn Nets were first in the East in January. They were January 22nd. They were 29-16, so a legitimate chunk of the season, 45 games. They were first, and they've dropped off because of injuries, because of a lot of weird stuff happening there. But they sit in ninth, and or did they drop to eighth? Hold on. Standings.
No, I think they did drop. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they've dropped in ninth.
Now,
They've dropped in ninth. It's quite confusing.
Yeah.
But so they would need to get through it. A couple rounds of the play-in tournament to get there, but I legitimately believe that they could get there because Kyrie obviously been cleared to play home games. They destroy the Heat on Saturday night. Absolutely destroy them in the first half. This wasn't a comeback win like a lot of Heat losses have been. They destroyed them in the first half. Now, then on Sunday they go play Charlotte, and I know Leigh's going to talk about them in a second. A back-to-back there for the Nets. You can make an excuse for them. Kyrie's first back-to-back of the season. They got in at 3 a.m. apparently. Kyrie couldn't sleep going to play his first back-to-back. They couldn't get it done there.
Yeah, that guy needs rest.
Yeah, he does. But legitimately, I think...
Come on. Did he really say that?
Well, yeah, he said he couldn't sleep. He was excited.
I think it was his first home back to. He did have a road back-to-back earlier, but still, there's no excuse.
They flew home, whatever they lost.
Yeah.
But I do believe in the team. Maybe it's a bit of kiss of death because Kyrie Irving did say this weekend when he was asked about the extension possibility coming this offseason, he said, "There's no way I'm leaving number 7, which is Kevin Durant." But he also said that about the Boston Celtics when he played there. He said, "I ain't leaving there." Next offseason, he left. Who knows if he leaves? But legitimately, this offseason or this postseason, I think Brooklyn can get there because of how they're coming together. They still don't have Ben Simmons, but when you have guys that can hit from deep, like him, like Kevin Durant, and like Seth Curry, who I think is really, 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 really important, because if you think back to last year's playoffs when they couldn't find a bucket outside of Kevin Durant. Joe Harris, an incredible three-point shooter. If he could hit a couple buckets, they go deep. I think Seth Curry is looking really, really good right now as their third scorer. They have to find it defensively a little bit, but to me, I'm excited for this play-in tournament because usually the play-in tournament is Pacers and Wizards, great. One of them is going to get romped by the top two seeds. But when you look at Cleveland, who has been a good story all season long, and they've lost Jared Allen, which has really hurt them. They've dropped into it. Charlotte, Brooklyn, and Atlanta, who was in the Eastern Conference Finals last year. I think one of those teams, especially Brooklyn, can make it to the finals. So I'm excited 1 through 10 for the Eastern Conference playoffs.
Well, let's talk about the Hornets. Yeah. Because they did beat Brooklyn, jumped them there in the standings, and would be hosting that game.
Yeah.
If it was the second game at least, yeah.
And I have to thank Tass because I saw her in the doc yesterday morning. You had the Brooklyn Nets as a winner. And I had the Hornets chambered. I was like, I think the Hornets could get a good weekend. But then they got they got to play Brooklyn. And early on it was like, I can't use the Hornets. But that game last night was incredible because it really felt like we were getting a Kevin Durant avalanche at some point there. At home again, there was a lot of emotion in the arena there with Kyrie back. Kyrie himself didn't shoot all that well, but he had one of those little patches where he hit like 3 in a row, and it's like, okay, now the Nets are just going to put this one away here. But the Hornets showed incredible resilience, and I thought LaMelo Ball hit a couple of wild shots. Cody Martin hit an incredible one-legged sort of clock running down, basically with about a minute to go, that put the game out of reach. But overall, the Hornets, who have been playing incredibly well themselves right now, won 7 of 8, stood up to that real challenge and got an incredible win. And I thought Miles Plumlee, who, I've sort of said, you can't have him as your starting, Mason, as your starting center if you want to go far. But he was competing last night, contesting, just giving them second chance opportunities. And that's really, I think, where the Hornets, a couple of times, if the Nets get the ball and get down the other end, maybe they do get on a roll, but they weren't able to do that. So I thought that was one of the most impressive victories by the Hornets, to just hang on against a team that really is trying to, solidify its place there. And they had no excuses. I mean, the Miami game wasn't a tough game. This was a blowout, so they were as rested as you can be. But then it goes back to Friday night as well against the Utah Jazz, another really impressive victory by the Charlotte Hornets, and they closed this one out. And we got another 2 beauties from Eric Collins after Miles Bridges hit 2 free throws, which was great. And then Donovan Mitchell, talked about this a few weeks ago, his late game execution was on display again in this one. He missed a bunny at the rim, which, okay, get there, sometimes you get too open, but then he just came down and he just had that home run heave it hit the top of the backboard. So that's got to be, again, another concern here for the Jazz, that when the game gets tight, what are they going to get out of Donovan Mitchell? So far, a lot of times this season, he hasn't been all that impressive. But for the Hornets, offensively, I think they're up to 8th in offensive rating in the league. Offense isn't really their problem. It's whether or not they can shut teams down or slow them down. I wouldn't say they shut down the Nets last night, but I thought they defended well, and the Nets missed a couple of shots that, you would take Kevin Durant to knock those down most of the time. But for a team that we thought we've really given no hope to sort of get out of that play-in, because it's likely going to be Brooklyn and, whoever, well, the Raptors. I know Cavs are in there at that right now. But they've strung together a really good streak here at the most important part of the season.
If the play-in tournament started today, I think you would like the Hornets' chances to get in, because they would be playing in Cleveland. Now, it's not an easy game by any means, but they could beat them. They're playing well right now, and that would get them in, right? They would be the 7th seed there, and you'd leave the Nets and the Hawks to battle it out, see who wins that, to then take on Cleveland in that case to have a second chance. I would pick Charlotte over them right now. At this point, absolutely.
Over the Hornets? Or over Cleveland?
Cleveland.
Oh, yeah,
absolutely.
I agree. The Cavs could have been a tough weekend, honestly, for the Cavs. This one, the No Dunks Coalition teaming up on Saturday to kick them down into the play-in tournament there. But, the Hornets have found something out here. A little of me thinks it's kind of teams overlooking the Hornets a little bit. Like you're saying, Leigh, there's no defense being played in this game. Even though they did fine against the Nets, they still gave up 110. So teams surely think, we just got to try and outscore the Hornets. But the Hornets have been playing really well offensively right now, so that's why they're able to win 7 of 8 at the perfect time, like you're saying.
Play-in starts on April 12th, I think. I mean, that is.
Yeah,
we are real close to that. That's a couple weeks from now. There's not a lot of regular season basketball left to be played until we get into the play-in games, which are the one and dones for some of those teams, and then into the actual playoffs. Okay. Trey, what about you? NBA weekend winner, what do you got?
Yeah, 2 minor winners, lowercase winners of the weekend, if you will. The Pelicans and the Spurs. This is also a stealth Lakers loser of the weekend, since they're the only team 9 through 11 in the Western Conference who didn't help themselves out. Coming into everything Friday night, the Lakers were in 9th, tied with the Pelicans there. Both of them 2 up on the Spurs for 11th. In the West, Spurs and Pelicans played on Saturday. A nice win for the Spurs. No Ingram for New Orleans. That was his 10th straight game he missed. 7 Spurs were in double digits, including 21 for Keldon Johnson. That's a name we never say on this show at all. 15, 11, and 13 for DeJounte Murray. Spurs were all over the offensive glass in this one. They blew a lead late. Jose Alvarado had a chance to win it on the last real possession for the Pelicans, but he wasn't playing against the Bulls, so it didn't happen. The win pulled the Spurs a game behind 10th, 1.5 behind 9th at the time. Pelicans followed up that close loss by beating the Lakers in a big-time comeback yesterday. Brandon Ingram was finally back after 10 games, and he was great. 26 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. Just dribbling into the easiest mid-range jumpers you'll ever see. That's a good game to come back for. Basically a warm-up game, but the bigger story for the Pels was Trey Murphy III. What a name for a guy who made 4 3-pointers in the second half. 4 of 6 shooting, 21 points. All of them came in the second half. The Pelicans only gave up 39 points after being down 20 at the half in this one. Joel Myers even hit the Lakers with a "that's all, folks."
Yeah.
As they showed Anthony Davis on the sideline there. He hasn't played in 27 years. So the win moved New Orleans a half game up on the Lakers into 9th in the Western Conference. The Lakers are only a game up on the Spurs for 10th right now. They play at Dallas, then they play at Utah, then they're home Friday against the Pelicans. They've got one easy game left this season. They've got the Thunder during the last week of the year. Everybody else has a better record than the Lakers at this point. LeBron also sprained his ankle against the Pelicans. He was playing incredibly well, had 25 points in the first half, definitely slowed down in the second half. Lakers could easily miss the play-in tournament at this point.
Yeah, they played like their season was on the line yesterday.
Yeah,
like
they were calling it a playoff game, basically.
They should have, because, the rest of their schedule is just so tough. So I think they desperately knew that they needed this one. Yeah, the Spurs can catch them after that one, unless that's all folks comes back and helps out. But it looks like he's just tending to his hair. You see, he let the fro go.
Yeah, he's looking like Kareem out there.
Yeah, you don't see. I've never seen Anthony Davis look like just leave the fro going on the floor there. But man, I think everybody knows. It seemed like LeBron knew in the post-game press conference. He was depressed. Obviously, his ankle, he said, it was killing him.
It was nasty.
Yeah. So that's rough.
I was so confused. You know when you log on to Twitter sometimes and it'll show you old tweets You know, like, and you're like, you're confused.
Certainly.
When is this tweet? Was this tweet a minute ago, or was this tweet like hours ago? I saw a Tass Mellis tweet. I had logged on. This is when the Pelicans had come back, and the tweet was, "Okay, Lakers," and I'm like trying to decipher this Tass tweet. I'm like, what does this mean? What is he talking about here? And then I did a little research. I'm like, oh, he was tweeting it at the start of the game when the Lakers jumped off to like a 10-0 start or something like that. And
it was actually supposed to be okay fakers, but I got
yourself, right?
No, well, I got auto corrected.
Oh, damn.
Wow. Got me. Yeah, no,
Nice save.
it looked like they were going to win that game until the Pelicans put it together the last few minutes. But yeah, Trey Murphy was huge. You talk about guys that we don't mention on this show. Trey Murphy is a part of that rookie class.
That was my dark horse rookie of the year pick. I remember Trey Murphy the third, super dark horse pick. I remember,
because he hasn't had a lot of great games, but he's come on the last few weeks, and he can hit shots. He had that dunk last week. He looks like a player. I guess they've kind of slowly brought him along, but he's had some monster. Monster is a strong word, but he's had a 32-point game, that 21-point game this weekend, this month. He hasn't had big scoring games. I think he's had 3 double-digit scoring games this entire season. But he can shoot it for sure.
So, mini 7th right now. Clippers, of course, still in 8th. Then the Pelicans ahead of the Lakers, 9th, 10th. They would play in that play-in game. But the Spurs right there. Do you want LA to be in this, Leigh, or would you almost prefer it be San Antonio, I guess? I would want LeBron still in it.
I would love the Pelicans to have a chance to knock the Lakers out. And I think
they'll beat the Lakers.
Brandon Ingram would love that.
I mean, that's the thing. Considering everything that's happened, I think the Pelicans would love that. It was a fun game in the end. Antonio Daniels last night, I mean, he basically got away from just being a color guy to just like, I'm cheerleading it.
Yeah.
Go on, Valanciunas. Take him. I told you.
He's definitely different on the call. I noticed that too.
But it's like, we used to be like, you've got to be a bit more objective. Now it's like, you know what, lean into it. It's fine. I thought it was just great because he could sort of sense like, we can do this. They weren't perfect, but they were able to just do it. And then the Lakers, there was a time where Carmelo got a wide open 3, and both him and Joel like, how can you lose him? They were just like, we can win this game.
Right.
We need to be better. But then Ingram, for a guy who has missed 10 games, that was like great. Just step into that mid-ranger.
There's a bunch of 15-footers.
And you're just waiting to see the change from the defensive mindset of like, someone's got to at least get there and stop him or see it coming, see it unfolding, but they didn't do that. So, it was crazy.
A couple other winners of the weekend. The Grizzlies continuing to impress without Ja Morant. They just destroyed the Bucks. You gave me a so talk about it. It's amazing.
Well, there was no Drew Holiday, but when Giannis is there, there's no and this was a rout from the start too. They really did blow them out, and this is really so impressive by Memphis because when was it after the All-Star break? I said, can Memphis keep this sort of streak up and this play up?
Right.
But the silver lining is that they aren't so heavily reliant on Ja Morant that they're like, we're just going to go out there and take care of business. And Giannis was into this game early as well. This wasn't like they were just cruising along. Memphis just beat them at both ends. And Jaren Jackson, I don't want to play my hand too early, but it's going to be tough for me to pick anyone else for Defensive Player of the Year. He was so good. He was so good.
Away, man.
Well, I know he was so because he's one of the few guys that I've really enjoyed watching play defense. Noah was one. I used to love watching Joakim Noah play. Kawhi.
Garnett, I assume.
Garnett to a degree, I mean, he was fine. But the way
average.
No, he was a good defender. I'm just saying the way that Jaren Jackson is like, he can defend the perimeter and he can then get back into the paint. He contests shots. He blocks shots. He's got such a strong case. It's going to be tough for someone to beat him in my pick already. So I might start the awards doc now and just put my pick in there. But
we got to start figuring out when we're doing that.
Yeah,
that's a good point. We're running out of time here to do all that stuff, to lock in our picks. We don't have votes, but just to lock them in.
But I mean, that's the big thing with Memphis Grizzlies. Defensively, they don't have the best rating in the league, but as far as steals, blocks, deflections, hustle points, all that stuff, they all go out. If you throw the ball and it's not a direct pass, someone's getting their hands into play, and that's what's so good.
I would say the only thing bad for the Grizzlies is that Ja Morant, I think, has left the MVP table because of injury, of course, and his team just kicking ass without him. And you have the rise of Jason Tatum, like you said, Tess, and Devin Booker there for the Suns, right? I don't think he's sitting at the table.
Yeah,
any
bad
longer.
timing.
Yeah.
Bad timing for Ja Morant that his team is so good. Right now, while these other great players, even Doncic was a little bit in the mix, but Booker and Tatum are definitely the guys who are squeezing into those 4th and 5th seats now. That being said, we need Ja Morant back healthy for the playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
I'm impressed with what Memphis is doing. It's awesome to go out and destroy the Bucks, but I think they probably win one game in the playoffs if they don't have Ja Morant. So, we'll see who they end up matching up with. They're obviously going to be a tough out, but they're a championship contender if Ja's still healthy.
Yeah, it is wild. They're pretty clear of the Warriors at this point, so the Grizzlies are going to be the 2nd seed. We sort of know, it's looking like we know the top 3 seeds in the West. That's the Suns for sure. That's the Grizzlies at 2. It's still probably the Warriors, though they're not that clear, I guess, of Dallas in the 4th seed. But they're going to be a top 3 or 4 seed. They're going to have home court advantage, and then we're figuring out still Dallas and Utah and who's going to be hosting that, and Denver, where they come into the mix. It's crazy, crazy stuff how just everything is so jumbled up still, which makes it very difficult, if we're being honest, to start doing our, playoff series predictions. Who's going to win, all that. We're not going to know until the final night. With might be every single matchup. We may not know, Tess.
That's great.
It's good.
Yeah, we don't need to do the predictions now.
Just burn the midnight candle.
Well, no.
Oil. Is it oil?
Candle.
Yeah, because I think you burn the candle
oil.
at both ends.
That's
and burn the midnight oil.
That's what I did. That's what I did, Leigh. You're absolutely right. Okay, a couple other just sort of random winners of the NBA weekend. Let's give a winner to YouTuber Jidion, who was getting a courtside haircut in Minnesota. And if you're joining us here on the stream team, if you're watching on YouTube, JD's got the clip here. Right there, Leigh. Love to get your take on this. Just getting clean up. Anthony Edwards shocked. Now, this was the Wolves were just rolling in this game. What do you think? Would you do this?
I don't know. I don't really like wearing that, what's the smock there, while I'm at an arena.
What? Okay. Why?
Because you want to have a drink and
Well, some
stuff
of them have where you can put your hands through.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd feel all that comfortable there,
Okay.
Because you kind of got to keep your head still when you're at the hairdresser too, and if you're looking around watching the game,
right.
Okay. You got to pay for the seat. You got to pay for your seat, the courtside seat.
Right.
Do you have to pay for the seat directly behind
for your burger,
right?
Yeah.
It wasn't sitting next to him because I think every seat was full. Also, if that's the case, complete waste of money because that was not a complicated haircut.
Yeah.
The guy was bald.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, he could have just brought a razor.
I think it was just solely for the bit.
Yeah.
And it worked.
I'm leaning more towards loser of the weekend personally, but I can see why it's a winner.
Yeah,
it got
for
everywhere.
sure. And Shaq and Steph Curry, they won an Oscar last night for The Queen of Basketball, the short documentary. So congrats to them. Kobe also had an Oscar, and now Shaq's won one there with them. I guess they were a producer, him and Curry, on this documentary. I haven't had a chance to watch this documentary about Lucia Harris, who was the first real elite women's basketball player drafted in the NBA.
Oh, that's right.
Didn't know
Yes.
that by the Jazz, New Orleans Jazz, in the 7th round. Never played, of course.
No.
But, so congrats to him. Did anyone else watch the Oscars?
I think you know my answer.
No.
Well, yeah, I had to watch some of it.
No.
Do I have an app? Can we log in? Can we? How do we watch this? Figured it out. Logged in. Figured it out. I was on it. I watched every feed. It was great.
The slap
it was great.
you're talking about.
Of course. No,
yeah. Did you watch it last night? Were you awake when
I
the
was
slap
awake,
heard around the world was going around
it wasn't
Twitter?
that late.
No, I know. I didn't. I was asleep by that point. I was long gone.
Yeah. Luckily, I was on Twitter. Otherwise, I wouldn't have seen
Right.
what was going on. But it was wonderful. Wonderful Twitter experience. My Twitter addiction came through. Usually it just screws me. But yeah, in this instance, I got to watch it. I watched it play by play. Did this really happen? Was it a sketch like Jidion?
Right. You were trying to figure out whether
Jidion
it
was a bit.
Yeah.
Of course. Everybody was wondering if it was a bit.
What do you think now?
Not sure now. Got to think about it for a bit.
Leigh, you think it was a bit?
No.
No? Chris Rock, Will Smith, WrestleMania right around the corner.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I guess so, yeah.
You never know, right?
Yeah.
No, that was weirder than the whole Moonlight. What was the other movie that got announced?
La La Land.
La La Land, yeah. Fiasco there? I guess it is. This is insane. Right?
Yeah, this is a famous person slapping another famous
Yeah.
person right in the face on national TV. You don't need to watch the Oscars. You'll hear about the one cool thing that happens the next day, guaranteed. Like, Moonlight, didn't see that happen.
Right.
It was everywhere. Will Smith slap. Tess said he was watching it, wasn't even watching it. Had to find out about on Twitter about what he was watching on TV.
I was watching beforehand. And
then you tuned out.
And then
the biggest part.
And then I lied. Well, I didn't know.
I did. I was watching a little bit, and then I was like, all right, I'm going to bed.
Yeah, that's
and so
what
I
I did.
missed it. Yeah.
So don't watch the Oscars is what we're saying. You'll catch up instantly. Instantly you'll catch up.
Of course.
Yeah, I love 3.5 hours of. I didn't really like the Encanto. Did you see the Encanto?
Oh, I did.
No.
They played your.
No, I didn't
They
watch
played your
anything.
Bruno.
My Bruno.
Yeah, that's your Bruno. I always think of
Did you see the Phoenix Suns dancers dance to a Bruno song?
No.
I was watching this movie with Laura. We were having a dance party, you know, in the 2 months since it came out. I was like, this song is too sexy. This song is too sexy
What
to
song?
be in. We don't talk about Bruno to be in a kids movie. It just has a sexy vibe to it, you know. When you dance to it, you want to grind, and that should not be the case in a kids movie. And I feel like I was proven right when the Suns dancers went out there and danced to a Bruno song. They're like, this is danceable in an arena. You're not picking like sedate songs to dance to an arena. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
A
a
Latin
little too-
song. Why is it sexy?
because of the vibe, because of the counter rhythms, Taz. It makes you want to hold some hips and sway.
Well, you should have
left
watched the
and right.
Oscars because they did a remix with Megan Thee Stallion.
Oh,
the
now
Bruno
see,
song.
now
That
see,
thing
I'm telling
really
you, that
sexed
one
it
is
up, yeah.
definitely too sexy.
Yeah.
I might look it up, though.
Nah.
Weren't
You'll
feeling-
be disappointed.
Yeah.
I wanted the song.
Yeah, I agree.
Should just cut it off. I mean, it went to Megan Thee Stallion and then it was done. Like, they didn't play the rest of the song. It was a minute of Bruno, the biggest song of the year. And then Megan Thee Stallion came in on her horse, and that was it. And then they didn't get to the rest of the song. It was a
True.
remix.
It's a quick version.
John Leguizamo, very funny intro. Very funny.
Cool,
Yeah,
good.
did you know that the Oscar trophy was modeled after a Mexican actor in 1920?
I didn't know that.
So every Oscar winner is holding 13.5
Was-
inches of Mexican.
What's his name? Oscar.
Oscar, maybe. I don't
think
know.
so. Yeah. Did you do you have any thoughts on any of this? No. Okay. Let's take our first break, and when we come back, we'll get to losers of the NBA weekend because there are some teams to discuss that had a rough weekend. But let's talk about Athletic Greens. If you're looking to get better gut health, more energy, stronger immune system in a really easy, natural way, you got to check out Athletic Greens, or AG. As us cool kids call it here on the podcast. I'm sure you'll all agree that most of us are not huge fans of having to take a bunch of pills or vitamins in the morning. You got breakfast to eat. You got to shower. There's no time to take all these pills. With Athletic Greens, you just found yourself an all-in-one solution that actually tastes good, and you'll truly enjoy getting your daily vitamins. So what is it? With one delicious scoop of Athletic Greens, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food sourced superfoods, probiotics, adaptogens to help you start your day right. This special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, your recovery, your focus, your aging, all of the things. All of the things, all of the things, all of the things. To get this, Athletic Greens is a climate neutral certified company. Tass, I thought you'd like that part.
Yeah,
I included
I
that
do
for
like that.
you
Thanks.
here today. In fact, in 2020, AG purchased carbon credits that support projects protecting old growth rainforests. So that's good stuff there. It's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. Just one scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. And to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you gotta do is visit. Take a guess at what website you gotta visit.
No athletic/nodunks.com/nodunks. No.
Athleticgreens.com/no
Greens.
I just want to see if you're paying attention to me. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/no-dunks to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance.
We talk a lot about numbers and statistics and percentages here, so let me hit you with my favorite stat I've seen. 79% of men think about their balls every day.
What's the number?
79%. It's probably more like 100% once you mention it.
Exactly.
I think we're up to 100, but the standard percentage is 79%. There are 5 of us here on the show.
Right. So one of us is not?
I think it was Tass. I don't think Tass has yet. I'm not sure.
Just did.
Oh, somebody forget about it.
Okay. Hold on.
Somebody forget. Every day, 79% of men think about their balls.
Too low.
I agree.
What, your
you
balls?
mean the percent?
Oh.
Well, if your balls are too low,
Yeah.
they won't be if you wear Sax underwear. The one brand that has made it their mission to keep your manhood supremely comfortable. Sax is obsessed with the comfort of your manhood. Thanks, Sax.
Sweet.
They make the most comfortable underwear for men, premium styles equipped with their patented ballpark pouch, which is basically a built-in hammock that keeps everything in place.
Whoa.
You know what I say? It's a good day if you're in a hammock. There's no sticking or chafing. Chafing? Chafing? Same thing?
Close.
I mean, which do you say?
Ch.
Yeah.
Chafing. Just 24/7 comfort. Sax makes underwear for all kinds of different occasions, even ones specifically for sport and outdoor activity. I wear Sax when I play tennis. Balls in the pocket, balls in the pouch.
Yeah.
Very secure. If you want to try Sax, head on over to sax.com/nodunks to get 10% off plus free shipping by using promo code NODUNKS. They come with a comfort guarantee, so if you're not 100% satisfied with your new underwear, Sax will give you your money back. So go to saxx.com/nodunks and use promo code NODUNKS for 10% off and free shipping.
Nice.
Peloton, my old friend. Remember that drop, guys?
Oh, yeah.
What was it?
Beverly.
Beverly,
Somebody was
my
just
old
tweeting at us recently. He was like, you guys keep talking about Patrick Beverly, and I can't believe we're not hearing the Beverly.
Well, we need Matty O
Drop.
for that,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But, yeah, Peloton, my old friend. That's a new drop around here. We love Peloton in this house. Every single one of us uses it pretty much every day. We originally got it for Rachel. She was having knee problems. She wanted something that was low impact. Got on the thing. She was immediately addicted and went on a 60-day ride streak. Like, she did 60 days of rides.
Made
Crazy.
it sound like she was on it for 60 straight days.
Yeah.
Wouldn't get off.
It felt like it.
Right.
It felt like it, to be honest. And we all use it. You should see Jackson's abs. The guy. It's crazy. Very jealous. I guess I could do the ab workouts too, but I don't. I do rides and weights, but I gotta work on my core. Anyway, Peloton is pushing you further with so much new on the Peloton Bike and Peloton Bike Plus. New classes, new music, new ways to keep your workouts fun and motivating. I'm doing today a 45-minute Power Zone Endurance 90s ride with my girl Christine Dercole later. And I'm actually looking forward to it. That's true. And Lincoln's been dabbling with Peloton boxing. You don't need gloves or anything, really. We have a Bob over there that he likes to slap around. Sorry. Slap again. If you've never boxed before, these classes will have you working up a sweat while working on the fundamentals of form, footwork, and fun combos that'll keep you on your toes. Peloton has a workout for every goal and mood. De-stress from a long day with 30 minutes of strength and 20 minutes of cardio, or do a quick 15-minute total body class before work. Stay motivated while having fun with bike workouts, yoga, meditation, dance cardio, and more. Visit onepeloton.com to learn more. That's onepeloton.com.
That's a nice little 1, 2, 3 ad read combo right there. Take your athletic greens, throw on your Sax underwear, jump on the Peloton. Boom. Right?
Done.
Synergy.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. Losers of the NBA weekend. Who wants to get us started? Leigh, why not you?
Miami Heat, rough weekend. Rough weekend for them. 2 losses, 2 bad losses too. Going back to Friday night against the Knicks. They got outscored 38-15 in the fourth quarter at home. Now, about a week or so ago, I was rather critical of Tom Thibodeau playing the old guys. And he's been playing mostly the young guys now and getting good results, although Taj Gibson played 10 minutes of the fourth quarter. But okay, so he did say, Tibbs did say, he's not afraid to play him again if he has to. So, okay, Tibbs, one victory to you there. But look, overall, we can look at the Knicks and say this was an incredible victory, or we can look at the Heat now who have lost the 4 in a row, and really that's a bad loss against the Knicks. Yeah. They get a chance then against Brooklyn, and Brooklyn were punking them so much that Andre Drummond gets the steal. He's thrown up the... I mean, people saying it's the peace sign. I guess it was it? I mean, I know that's the peace sign, but what's it in reference to, like, when you're going down there? You know what I mean? Like, he was just doing it to showboat, I guess.
Yeah, see you later.
Yeah. And he threw down a dunk. And this one, honestly, like, if you saw the Nets on Friday, you can sort of see what Tass is saying there. Maybe they can go all the way. But then on Sunday, they lose at home. Okay, back-to-back and all that. But... the Miami Heat have got a few issues, I think, here. Because they are not playing with that intensity. Now, Eric Spoelstra actually missed Saturday night's game, so he will be back for the next game. He had a family situation to take care of. But Miami have gone from the number 1 seed and looking pretty comfortable there. They were up a good 2.5, 3 games at one point there, to now... in a tie with Boston, but of course, as also we talked about earlier, Milwaukee and Philadelphia are only half a game back there. So Miami could see themselves. Now, they won't drop, I don't think, any lower than 4. They're 3.5 games up there on the Bulls.
They'll have home court advantage.
Yeah, they'll definitely have it, but they do have to figure out what's going on. And Kyle Lowry addressed that after the game. He said, we're just not playing very well. We've got to figure some stuff out. So, some questions here about Miami and how they sort of close out this regular season, because I still think at their best, they're a very good team at both ends of the floor. But 2 bad losses at home and 4 losses in a row. And I think 3 of those actually have been at home. I think they lost in Philly and then the Warriors and then the Knicks and the Nets. So they need to sort of find that energy again. Yeah. Because, again, the way that the Knicks young guys just ran them up and down the court, I thought was pretty bad on Saturday night was it? I can't remember what night it was. Anyway, on the weekend there, yeah. But the Knicks, for a team that we know has not been playing very well, has not been able to close out games, and sort of has the same, Fred Katz always tweets about it. We're seeing the same movie over and over with the Knicks. They just can't close out a game. Instead, McBride and Quickly and Grimes, all those guys, and Obi Toppin were just really looking like they were playing well. So great stuff by the Knicks and the Nets against them, but Miami... very interested to see how they react. And look, I mean, some credit to you, at least so far. You were the only one wondering the Spoelstra, Jimmy Butler, Udonis Haslem blow up of last week. Will there be a little bit of a hangover? There's something there. There's obviously a little tension. We were like, nah, come on. This is Miami. They love this stuff. And that might still be proven to be true. Yeah. We'll see what happens in the playoff. But you were like, I don't know. That's, of course, never a good sign when your coach wants to maybe fight a player on your team, a star player at that. And they did not respond well, I guess is what I'm getting at here with these 2 losses. And again, they had a big lead against the Knicks. This is the Knicks that we you should be able to get. That's the sort of like, okay, that's the drought breaker there. Yeah. But then again, Miami, when Brooklyn came to town, it was a bloodbath, that one. So... yeah, they've got some things to figure out. They've got the Kings next at home, so that'll be the real test if they drop one to the Kings at home. But then they go to Boston, Chicago, Toronto, Charlotte, huge Atlanta. Game. So yeah,
how they close out games is the biggest real worry going forward, because even prior to the little kerfuffle, they gave up a lead to the Sixers on Monday night, then they gave up the lead to the Warriors on Wednesday, and then Friday, and then they just got spanked by the Nets. So it's a pattern. Schumann pointed this out. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, those 3 games, they led in the fourth quarter. They led by 3 with 5 minutes left. Then the Sixers went on a 16-2 run. They led by 3 early in the fourth against the Warriors. Then the Warriors destroyed them 37-16 the rest of the way, and they led by 16 early in the fourth against the Knicks. Wow. And Tyler Hero out for a couple of those games. He really is their creator and their closer. I think that was a part of this streak. But what happens in the fourth quarter? Is it just Lowry and Butler going to pick it up in the postseason as creators? Maybe. But I think that's the biggest worry, is that it can get a little stagnant, and that's teams ready to stop them. But it seems like they've got enough weapons. But it is a real, hey, we all have to chip in. And so you can't rely on Jimmy. I don't think you can just rely on Tyler Hero. You can't rely on Bam or Kyle. So they all got to chip in. So I think that's a legit worry for this team. Anything to add, Trey, to a bad weekend for the Miami Heat?
Well, they made 12 threes against the Knicks. They made 10 threes against the Nets. Meanwhile, they had 15 turnovers against the Knicks and 21 against the Nets. Like Tass is saying, it's basically a system team with Miami. Like Jimmy Butler, Kyle Lowry, Tyler Hero, those are the guys who are going to go get you a bucket, but they still just all play together better when everybody's touching the ball, when the ball is moving, when they're getting shots for their three-point shooters. So when they're turning the ball over, they've been a high turnover team this year. That's a big-time weakness for the Heat. Gives other teams opportunities to run out on them, which doesn't give the Heat a chance to set up their defense. So those are the things that they definitely have to tighten up come playoff time, because you're right, it is just going to be still the same guys, and it's going to have to be Butler and Lowry and Tyler Hero all pick it up in the postseason. Otherwise, if your perimeter guys aren't playing well, Duncan Robinson's not going to go out and get his own shots. Max Strus isn't going to go out and get his own shots. So they're just going to have to play better. That's why they brought in Kyle Lowry to take some of the load off of Jimmy Butler. And obviously, we've been talking about Hero as an X factor for the Heat the entire season. So he had a really, really bad one in his return, 5 turnovers. So that just can't happen if they're going to be a realistic title contender.
All right, Tass, you're up next. Who's the loser of the weekend?
Well, it's happening. The Cleveland Cavaliers, everybody's favorite child. My favorite child, for sure. They have dropped out of the playoff picture into the play-in tournament. They're currently in 7th after an incredible season. It's a winning season in Cleveland. They've won 41 games, but things have caught up to them. Now, Darius Garland, one of their 2 All-Stars, their healthy All-Star, still believes that they'll get in. He said, quote, "We're going to be there. Top 6 for sure. I've got confidence in us. We all have confidence in that locker room that we're going to be there in that top 6. If we're in the play-in game or whatever, we're in the playoffs. We're going to be there." See, it's kind of confusing.
Yeah, so he's like, hold on, we're going to be top 6, but then he said, if we're in the play-in, we'll still make it and be in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think it's confusing for all NBA players. It's even confusing. Like, what does it mean? What does the playoffs mean, number one? Number 2, like, do we get into the playoffs? I think he's saying if we're in the play-in tournament, we're going to win, and then we're going to be in the top 6. Like, the 6 teams are the only 6 teams that make the playoffs. To me, that's what.
Hold on. If he said that doesn't make any sense. Because you're not a top 6 team if you're in the play-in. You will not be one.
No, but he thinks that if you win, then you get into the real playoffs, which are the top 6 teams. I think. Anyways, I'm interpreting what he's saying. Top 8 teams. No, I know it's 8 teams. Okay. I know it's 8 teams, but he says we're going to be in the playoffs. We're going to be in the top 6. Anyways, what he really means is we're going to be in the actual playoffs. I think he means that we're going to get out of the play-in tournament.
Right.
And I believe too. I think you said that
I don't.
I think they just got to win one game. I think they're going through some, because they will be in that 7-8 game. They'll probably very, very, very likely be the 7th seed if they don't make the actual top 6. Right. And they're going through some lessons right now, which I think will help them in the play-in tournament. They lost to the Bulls on Saturday night, where they just couldn't hit a shot in that first half. They were 1 of 18 from 3 in the first half, so they got down 19 points. And then they did fight back.
Yeah, they made a game of it.
And I think, listen, a huge part of it, I mentioned they have one healthy All-Star. Their other one is Jared Allen, who's been missing the last 10 games. He elected not to have surgery on his broken finger, and he's starting to do some things, quote, do some things in practice. So I do think he will eventually come back here these last few games, because he elected to keep the recovery period shorter, and he should be helping out. I think we should all be. They obviously, not we. I mean, we as because I'm part of the stands of the Cleveland Cavaliers. But everybody in the Cleveland Cavaliers franchise organization should be happy with a winning season, no matter what happens the rest of the way. But to them, it would be disappointing if they don't get in, and they desperately need Jared Allen. I mean, he's an all-star, and I think we probably don't talk about it because we're kind of tired of talking about all the injuries that they've had. They lost their starting backcourt, essentially. I mean, Colin Sexton was coming off the bench, but Ricky Rubio as well. And they've gone through so many injuries. So hopefully Jared Allen comes back and makes this a fair fight. But I do think everybody should be scared of them, obviously, if they get it together. But, 15 days, you got to start getting it together, and hopefully Jared Allen comes back to help that.
Yeah, any notes from that big game on the weekend? Bulls pulling it out 98-94 in Cleveland. Like Tess said, though, Cleveland got back into it, and it was a game.
Yeah, 48 points in the paint for the Bulls. They also took 25 free throws. I thought they actually were, focusing on getting the ball inside, and you could definitely see the absence of Jared Allen in the Bulls just being able to attack inside and continue to try and get to the rim, which is not always a strength for the Bulls, but that was a huge win. The Bulls have played terrible since the All-Star break, but they've had 2 must-win games, the Raptors and the Cavaliers, and they took care of business in both of them, though it was a little dicey in the end of the fourth quarter of this one, just like it was against the Raps, but getting both of those tiebreakers, it's like getting an extra 1-game lead when it comes to playoff seeding.
Yeah, the Cavs just couldn't hit a 3. The Cavs needed last season's 72-game schedule. That would have been perfect.
It's true.
They would have finished, 5th or something like that. But look, they have to take away from this season lots of positives. Garland, obviously an all-star, so with Jared Allen. Mobley's going to be fantastic. So they've got lots of good pieces. I think Kevin Love's under contract for another year. I think his presence as a veteran has been really good too for the young guys. So this might not be any more than first-round fodder. Maybe not, who knows? Yeah. But still, it's lots of positives to take out of it.
Trey, loser of the weekend, what do you got?
Tough weekend and a tough road trip for the Utah Jazz. 0-2 over the weekend. They're 1-4 through their first 5 of 6 on their longest road trip of the season. They've lost 4 straight. We kind of talked about it a little bit already on Friday. They lost to the Hornets, and Charlotte just crushed the glass against the Jazz, which is very strange considering these two teams. 16 offensive rebounds for Charlotte, which turned into 18 second chance points. You mentioned it, Leigh. Donovan Mitchell had a chance, couple of chances really, down the stretch in this one. Missed a layup, said it was the easiest shot he had all night, and still just went off. He also bricked a 3 over the top of the backboard. Hornets made a lot more plays in the fourth quarter, which hasn't been their strength, but has been a problem for the Jazz. They followed up that loss on Friday with another one yesterday to the Mavericks, and this was a big one. No Rudy Gobert, no Hassan Whiteside. Bogdanovic has been out for quite some time at this point, and Donovan Mitchell got rolled up on, sprained his ankle, looked a little gimpy in the second half of this one, finished up going 4 for 13. So the Jazz were basically having to play small ball against the Mavericks, and the Mavericks are just way better at it. 32-10-5 for Doncic, 22-10-5 for Brunson, 17 threes for the Mavericks. It was just get Mike Conley up here. Somebody's going around him. Drive and kick is going to be there, or a layup at the basket. So, I don't know. Without Rudy Gobert back there, it was like kind of taking their pick, the Mavericks were, between Conley and Donovan Mitchell and Jordan Clarkson when he was out there as well. Those are 3 small guards. And if you don't have your Defensive Player of the Year candidate back there, it's trouble. So that loss dropped Utah behind Dallas for the 4th seed. Utah down into 5 right now, and the Mavs are dying for home court advantage. They haven't had it since Doncic has been there in Dallas, and they want the matchup with Utah in the first place because Utah's banged up right now. Like I said, they've lost 4 straight. They're playing Dallas again here this week, so there's a lot of pressure on the Jazz right now, and it doesn't feel like they're handling it very well at all.
It feels like we are getting it too, Dallas and Utah.
Yeah.
It just matters, just going to depend on who gets home court, but honestly, the Mavericks would prefer it, but I don't think they're afraid of going to Utah either. I think they just feel they match up well because they do go small. And again, injuries obviously play a part here, but I just think they feel we can take this team. We can spread the floor, and if everyone's hitting threes, it's tough for the Jazz to defend. So I hope we get it. I think it'd be a fun series, and it certainly feels like it's heading in that direction.
Yeah, I don't know. The Jazz feel like one of the more depressing playoff teams to me as they sort of limp into the playoffs here and who they're going to play, and just like, is this the end of this sort of iteration of the team too? I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but if they go down in the first round and maybe it's not even all that competitive, it would be bad, I think, for the Gobert-Mitchell pairing moving forward. Maybe they look to blow that up, but look, that could be months still from now. They could surprise people too. They are a good team when they're healthy, but it just feels something about them right now.
Yeah, and they have a lot of things to overcome, and then they got to play a playoff team. Rudy Gobert's come back. Donovan Mitchell had an injury there that he came back from, and so they got to get it together. And it feels like this could fracture if they get bounced for sure.
I would like to give a loser of the NBA weekend to what in the hell is going on with the All-NBA voting criteria. All right? If you don't know what I'm talking about, you probably weren't on Twitter this weekend. It started with Mike Singer tweeting, "I'm told that both Jokic and Embiid will be eligible at both forward and center on the All-NBA vote. So both players can make first team." Okay, that's shared. Mark Stein jumps in. "It'll be the 3rd season in a row that both Jokic and Embiid will be on the All-NBA ballot at both center and forward. Whether either of them get enough votes to be a first team forward, when neither of them really plays forward, is another matter." He continued, this is Mark Stein, "If Embiid or Jokic gets more center than forward votes, neither can make first team as a forward no matter how high their total. Because players get placed at the position they get the most votes, okay? That makes sense, right? If they get...
Yes,
okay.
I know, yeah.
What are we doing?
What are we running here?
Just pick a fucking center. Why does all of this talk about all NBA is getting me fucking pissed off? And Mr. Temper Boy is coming to play. All of these podcasts now we listen to about all NBA selections, they're not even arguing about the players and the merit of their season and stuff like that against one another. It's like just turns into like, is he a guard or is he a forward? Oh, there's a center. Can we get him as a forward? I'm like, what? Well, until the NBA would just... I mean, they should do it. Just pick the 5 best players for all NBA first team, pick the top 15 for all NBA teams. Don't worry about positions at all. Until they do that, you have to... These guys are centers.
Make a pick. Just make a pick. That's why they shouldn't go top 5. People should just make a pick. But, it just obviously shows how much people care about which number team you're on, first, second, or third.
No, it's like, they shouldn't. But they do. But they don't. They don't.
do.
Bill Russell made...
Who? Bill Russell? That was like 60 years ago.
3 first teams. We didn't hear a single thing about Wilt having way more than him on the
They should have changed it so Wilt and Bill Russell could both get on.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, that's what they would have been doing, I guess.
It is honestly ridiculous that they're considering changing this. If anybody votes either of those guys as forwards, then I'm a forward.
Yeah, well, I know. Jokic,
You're a point forward, though.
Thanks, man.
Jokic has to be voted at guard. He's their point guard.
Oh, my God. Last year, Jokic was All-NBA first team center and Embiid was second. Those were the 2 guys in the running for most valuable player. And Jokic won it. Okay, fine. So it could be vice versa this year. It could be the same as that. But this is what this would have to mean, right, Trey? That all of the voters get together and say, okay, what are we doing? Okay, let's put Embiid as our center. And let's all vote Jokic as our forward. I guess they could technically do that, and that would get them all on the first team. But why? Because he doesn't even...
I just get rid of positions.
I know, but until they do that, do you think...
what about getting rid of center at least? And then guards and forwards like it is for
We've
the
got
All-Star
more good
game.
centers than anything else right now, though.
I know, but they would make...
More centers on the first team ballot.
Yeah, but then if it's just forwards, you get a better chance that you'd have more centers.
If it's just forwards, everybody's saying... How come we can't put Jokic and Embiid on there?
Yeah,
they're centers.
it continues.
But I mean, it's honestly ridiculous. You should just have to pick one.
Yes.
Just like you have to for the MVP.
Yes.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
Right now, until they completely just change it and just say pick whoever you want for your first 5 or in your first top 15. But I'm with you,
who would
Trey.
be the top 5 players though? If it was guards and forwards, or even
if it was just open.
If it was open, sure. If it's guards and forwards, Jokic and Embiid are on there. Or if it's just open, Jokic and Embiid are on there.
Yeah. I'm not gonna. Yeah, Giannis, Jokic, and Embiid are 3 of the best players in the league because they're the 3 front runners for MVP. So they would be in this hypothetical on the first team. Yeah. No brainer.
Yeah, I don't mind guards and wings.
Okay. Well, that's a whole other argument.
And bigs or guards and guards.
But you know what? I'm with Trey. Like, don't like half-ass it if they're gonna go that way, because I just heard, I think it was Bill Simmons saying, is Donovan Mitchell really a shooting guard? Like, is he more of a point guard? It's like, what?
What does that matter?
I mean, I'm just saying, like, you can do this with every single player.
What does that matter?
Well, no, with position.
A guard or a guard?
Yeah.
Well, he was like
You're
talking about like who is the best shooting guard in the league this year, and he says, okay, it's Booker, but then they're getting into like, well, where's Mitchell? I just can't believe this is where the arguments are going, that we're just having to get into like Tatum, forward or guard, Luka, forward or guard, DeRozan, forward or guard. It's like, what?
Yeah,
it's so silly.
I don't know if it's still there, but Luka Doncic's positions on NBA.com used to be guard and power forward. So, what is a position? Exactly my point. I mean, you can literally, a lot of these guys in today's NBA, you can say he plays like 4 positions. Exactly.
At different times in the game.
And it's the honor. You're the first team. So it shouldn't be like, we have to break it down. Because the game doesn't get played.
Right.
That's a great point.
No, I'm with you.
They should play the game.
Exactly. That's how they sort it out. And you
Second
have to go
and
by
third team
positions.
play, and winner plays against the first team.
It's like the accolade and the prize is like, we want to acknowledge who the 5 best were this season. No one should be like, well, you can't have him on there because there's already a guy who plays that position in something that doesn't matter. So,
I mean, I think this is going to be all for naught. I think the voters ultimately will just make a decision. it'll probably be very close, right, between Jokic and Embiid in terms of the first team, and we'll go from there. But I don't see even how this works unless they all call each other up and say, okay, this is what we have to agree on to put, let's say, Jokic as a forward to get him on the first team.
Yeah, I got faith in the voters that they're all going to vote them as a center, though.
Right.
They should.
Well, right.
They're both centers.
Meaning one will only make the first team. Yes.
Yeah.
I would.
Yeah, they are centers.
Yes, there's that part too.
Here's going to be the worst thing that could happen would be if, say, whichever one, say Jokic finishes as first team center and then Embiid wins MVP.
Right.
Then what?
Yeah.
Then what? Come on.
Wasn't that Marc Gasol won Defensive Player of the Year, but...
Yeah, somebody else was first team all defensive center or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. People are probably going to take their cues from Zach Lowe on this one. I'm sure he'll come out with another positions podcast where he officially lays down his ballot of which guy's going in the forward and center. Because I know he's going to do that. And when Zach Lowe does something, people tend to get in
tilts.
line.
Yeah,
Yes.
but that means a lot of voters have to follow suit. They do. This is basically
Agreed.
what Stein is
I
saying.
agree.
Otherwise, you're not going to get in there because whatever one you get more votes at is the positional spot. That's how they decide it right now. It's just wild to me. And then it is crazy. If this does somehow happen, that Embiid and Jokic are somehow, they skirt around the rules a little bit and they both get on the first team. Well, then what is that? It does have an effect like down the line in terms of now you're taking away a forward position.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So does that mean then Towns is the second All-NBA center? Does that mean Gobert is the third
a forward
All-NBA
center, I would say.
Well, jeez, yeah. But
Towns is a bit of a forward for sure.
I know.
Yeah. Put him up on the first team.
Rudy
All
Gobert
centers.
is definitely a center. Okay,
No, I say he plays point. Sometimes he handles the ball. You see him have the ball in his hand. He might be a point guard to me.
Well,
Point center.
Defensively,
Plays
he defends
1-5.
point guards.
Yeah.
All right. So
It's crazy. Am I alone out there with the stream team? I just can't believe how into the weeds we've gotten with all this position stuff.
We have too much data, Skeets.
Yeah, maybe.
You should not be able to go on Basketball Reference and find out what % of minutes somebody has played at a position. We should not have access to this information because we've taken it too far at this point. We've gone too far with the numbers. 79% of voters. Sorry.
Luka Doncic is still listed as a forward guard. Not a power forward anymore. He used to be power forward, but Luka Doncic is not a forward.
I agree. I mean, there are some where you're like, okay, it's a little bit more up in the air. I guess DeRozan, even though I sure as hell think of him as a guard, even though he's listed as forward.
That position is the most interchangeable of all. The forward guard, Paul George, Zach, all those guys. It's the same thing.
Right.
A point guard is pretty distinguishable. A center usually is pretty distinguishable. The rest are very much so get rid of positions.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're not going to.
No. You don't think they will?
I doubt it.
The more we do this and have these how can we him? Then maybe they will.
Yeah. The only thing is,
Or go
there
with
could be
Tacit.
a time where, let's say they have no positions, then maybe no center makes any of the teams because they don't have to default back to one.
Right.
And then the big man, you know what Trey's like, he doesn't get the big man respect. They're like,
It's true.
Yeah.
You already got rid of it in the All-Star game, and
Yeah.
the three best players are centers now. Crazy.
exactly.
Crazy.
Then just keep it and have to pick between
It's
the
not that
centers.
hard.
My God.
It's all about picking stuff.
Yeah.
Having a preference.
My goodness. All right, let's take one more break. When we come back, Leigh, you got tweet of the night. We got pick 'em results. We'll make tonight's pick and a little bit more. Don't go anywhere.
LinkedIn. One word or two?
I guess one.
Compound word?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Well, it can be both. Because LinkedIn, it can be whatever you need it to be. Looking for a job? That's the place to go. Hiring? Well, LinkedIn is the best place to find your next employee. With so many people switching jobs right now, LinkedIn Jobs is here to help you connect with the people you want to interview faster and for free. Create a free job post in minutes on LinkedIn Jobs to reach your network and beyond to the world's largest professional network of over 770 million people. It's not a typo. That's a lot. Then add your job and the purple hashtag hiring frame to your LinkedIn profile to spread the word that you're hiring so your network can help you find the right people to hire. Simple tools like screening questions make it easy to focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience so you can quickly prioritize who you'd like to interview and hire. It's why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs #1 in delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the candidates you want to talk to faster. Did you know? Every week, nearly 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/nodunks. That's linkedin.com/nodunks to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply.
There are some things that keep getting better as you use them, like a cast iron skillet. When it's got all the many flavors of the things you've cooked on it and they marinate together. It's great. Or it could be, as it is for me, those trusty old pair of basketball shoes. I've been out playing again. It's the older ones that sometimes just make you feel more comfortable. And sometimes now you can actually add bed sheets to the mix. Bowl and brand sheets aren't just buttery, breathable, and impossibly comfortable. They get softer with every wash. We got sent a pair a few weeks ago, or a set, and I immediately put them on because we hadn't actually had new bed sheets for a while. You sort of take it for granted, don't you? Just like put them in the wash and you keep using them. I tried these. It's great. Great, really. I mean, it really is buttery and breathable underneath there.
Yeah, sleeping well?
Absolutely, yeah. My wife loves them. So do I. We snuggle and it's like, it feels really nice. They're silky smooth and cozy, and you can just feel the difference between the old ones that we had been using. Boll & Branch uses the highest quality threads on earth for a superior softness and a better night's sleep. Buttery, again, to touch.
You're really rolling your R's when you say it. Yeah.
Super breathable. They are perfect for every season. 100% free of toxins, meaning no pesticides, formaldehyde, or other harsh chemicals. I know. I was going to take it out, but I thought, no, I can do it.
Yeah, good.
Best of all, Boll & Branch gives you a 30-night risk-free trial with free shipping and returns on all orders. You guys know, I love that. When a product says, take it for a month. Try it. Really try it out. Not just a week, and also free shipping and all that. So you got a free hit.
Put these sheets down. Snuggle with your wife.
Exactly.
Then
it's a
wash
great
them.
feeling. Wash them.
Got to.
Put them down again.
Right.
Snuggle. You're back in town.
Right.
Great. Get 15% off your first set of sheets when you use promo code. Guess what the promo code is?
Athletic Greens.
No dunks at bollandbranch.com. That's Boll and Branch. BOLLANDBRANCH.com. Promo code no dunks. 15% off your first set of sheets. Do it.
So it sounds like you're keeping these sheets.
Cool.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Nice stuff.
Yeah.
Pick yourself up a second pair.
Possibly.
It's nice to have a rotation of
It is.
sheets because when you don't, then you got to do the whole now we're cleaning these, we're washing them,
Right.
we're drying them, but then we got to get them back on the bed.
Yeah.
Get that second
Get 'em
rotation.
back in town.
Yeah.
Get a bowl, get a branch, and everybody's happy. You know. All right. Let's get to tweet of the night.
Tweet of the night. Wow.
Twitter.
Leigh, tweet of the night.
It was a huge weekend, of course, in the movie industry. You know, I was glued to the TV last night watching. No, actually, I missed the Oscars last night. I tuned in a night earlier to see the bigger award, the Razzies. The Razzies.
Big.
And
What channel was that on?
Oh, yeah, one of those channels deep in the thing. Anyway, rough. It's been a rough season for the Lakers. LeBron's had an okay season, but it was a bit of a rough weekend for him in the film industry because you talked about Shaq and Steph winning an Oscar. Well, LeBron, I guess he won. He cleaned up at the Razzies.
Oh no,
he went 3 for 4 after Space Jam: A New Legacy picked up Worst Actor, Worst Remake Sequel, Worst Screen Combo, and he was nominated for Worst Picture. So, look, LeBron's known, of course, for 3-1, his biggest moment in the NBA world. This is perhaps not his biggest moment. I'll just say, Worst Actor, I'm surprised he won that, and Worst Picture didn't win. I would have switched those two around. I didn't think his acting was Worst Actor. I thought movie was worse.
I'd have to see the whole list.
What won? Best or
worst picture?
Didn't see, actually. I didn't see.
And what about the combo? Him and Bugs? Him and
maybe him
Tweety
and
Bird? Him and
yeah, I guess. I mean,
Algae Rhythm?
Grandma.
Algae.
Yeah.
So there you go. Yeah, 3 Razzies. Well deserved.
Diana won
Oh,
worst
that's
picture.
right. Musical.
Oh, is that the
Musical
Lady
about
Gaga?
the Princess of
Yeah,
Wales.
Princess of Wales. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Lady Gaga in that?
I thought.
No, she's in the
what am I-
Gucci one, isn't that what you're thinking of?
I thought Nora was saying something to me last night about Lady Gaga and Diana, but I could be wrong.
No, I don't
You
know
would
about
know.
that one.
You
No,
would know.
No, yeah.
You're the monster. What do you call yourself? Little monster? What are
We are called. What are we called?
you? Little monster.
I think so.
Is
Yeah,
it
I think
just
it's Little Monsters.
Yeah. She doesn't seem to lean into that anymore.
No?
But yeah, she's Mother Monster, I think.
Mama
I don't
Monster.
know. Yeah. So there you go.
Okay, wow. Just piling on LeBron, eh?
Well, not really. I mean, just
He can't be happy about that.
wasn't it Tom Green who turned up and accepted all his Razzies for?
Freddie got fingered. That was a worst picture.
I thought
was
he
a
won
good
like
movie, though.
several awards.
Yeah, yeah, really. A clean sweep at the 2001 Razzies for Freddie Got Fingered. Yeah, he did win Worst Actor as well.
Tom Green.
And Worst Screen Couple. Tom Green and any animal he abuses, and Freddie Got Fingered. Yeah, tough one. Saw it opening night, though. Me and 16 of my closest friends. And I thought it was
16?
great. Yeah. Like all of the senior bros at high school, we all went and watched Freddie Got Fingered together.
And
I was dying.
And loved it.
Yeah. I thought I was gonna win Best Picture. Number one scene, Daddy, would you like some sausages?
Oh, yeah.
The backwards man, he can go as fast as you can. It holds up. It totally holds up.
All right. Well, we were not high on Space Jam: A New Legacy. I remember in our film session. No one was a big fan.
No,
so it's not
I
all
thought
that
it was.
strong.
really
I'm
wrong.
with Leigh though. I didn't think it was the worst movie.
Yeah.
No, I'm. Sure, that seems like a stretch. Part of me thinks they do this because it's like
game.
LeBron headlines. You're gonna get those clicks,
Oh, yeah, and it worked.
and it worked. You got
Yeah.
tweet of the night. For
Yeah. I sort of forgot they did the Razzies, but
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, great.
Okay. Pick'em results brought to you by BetMGM. This is Friday night's game. Warriors Hawks down at the Fortress. Atlanta was favored by 2.5. Tass the only one to take the Warriors, and he's the only one to get the L because Atlanta got the victory covered. It's tight here in our March Pick'em battle. Listen to this. Trey's 11-8. Tass and I are 10-9, so a game back of Trey, and then only a game back from us is Leigh at 9-10. 2 games separate first and last here in March's Pick'em. So tonight's game is obviously important. There's 3 or 4 nights here left to pick games in March. So what we got?
Right. Yeah, it's like the Eastern Conference standings up in here in
Yep.
terms of the pick and payoff. It's tight. And we're going to stay in the East for tonight's game. Chicago visiting the New York Knicks. Plus 4.5. The Knicks got a cushion at home. They can lose by 4 and still cover. So, Leigh, you're not in a terrible spot, although you're on an island on your own, just like Lady Liberty there. What do you got, man? You think the Knicks can
Play the kids, man.
be all right?
Yeah, I also didn't have any choice. I got in a little bit late there, but look, what do you do? That sort of stuff. I mean, I will say, of the two teams, Knicks have probably been playing better lately, but they're on the second night of a back-to-back.
Yeah.
They're at home, but yes, it's the kids. If he plays the young guys,
Yeah.
I think they've got the legs to at least keep it. 4 points is fine.
I think the Bulls and Knicks have played oddly close games this
Very
year too.
close.
So
Yeah.
even in a loss
Yeah.
in the cover,
Yeah.
still in play. So, all right, good luck to you, and the rest of us have Chicago there. All right, let's wrap this bad boy up. Email in your NBA questions to nodunks@theathletic.com. Get yourself an athletic subscription. Go to theathletic.com/nodunk so they know that we sent you, and you can take advantage of that $1 a month deal for up to 6 months for new subscribers. And nodunks.com. Tomorrow, the Mr. Temperboy t-shirts go on sale. There it is. Nodunks.com. You can go there right now, though, if you want to get some classics that we already have up there. T-shirts, hoodies, mugs, and stuff like that. People want Mr. Temperboy as a coffee mug, too, so we'll have to talk to Breaking Tea.
It'll look good
Be a
on a
pretty
nice
good
white
one. Yeah,
mug.
that'd pop for sure.
People are also saying we should send one to Will Smith. Anybody got his address? I think he moved out to Bel Air, right?
Yeah, it'd be great to get him a Mr. Temperboy shirt.
There was a Bel Air ad during the Oscars.
Ooh.
I don't think it was placed that way. It just happened to be that way. Late, right before the kerfuffle.
Oh, man. All right, so, guys, we will see you tomorrow. live at 10 a.m. Eastern here from the Classic Factory, breaking down tonight's games and all the big news. But get those questions in, like I said, to nodunks@theathletic.com. Till then, Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us, and just wanted to bid adieu to the Peacocks, St. Peter's Peacocks. What a run, baby. What a run.
Cinderellas.
All the way to the 8s. All the way to the 8s.
Brace the date, people.